Welcome to the Greenwash Village. This is at Glasgow Airport. We've got a fine array of greenwash here today.
Still planes in Greenwash land.
Yeah. We see the use of the word sustainable multiple times around the facility.
Ooh, 3 airports, 1 journey to a sustainable future.
Oh wow, okay. Yeah.
3 airports. And they're carbon neutral. To be fair, look, they're using LED lighting in all their airports.
Yeah.
They're really trying. They're trying.
The new green leaf design on the aircraft fuselage there. Yeah.
And their electricity is 100% renewable. Yeah. There's not a lot about the planes though. They're not talking about the planes very much yet.
I mean, thank goodness the bus service is now fully electric. You know, I mean, there's hardly any emissions from the flight itself. So as long as the bus is fully electric, you know, that's where it really counts. So yeah, what else have we got in the Greenwash Village?
We've got some plants. We've got some plants in
Oh
there.
wow! Well, I mean, there's sequestering carbon right here.
Got some plants. Okay. Well, that's probably enough. That's probably enough to offset it.
I mean, that's got to sequester what, like 0.01 kilograms.
A few grams.
Yeah, a few grams of CO2 here, a little bit of CO2 there. You know.
That's it.
Yeah. Okay.
Whole window.
So this window used to be see-through and now it's green. So it's quite enjoying the tint here. Yeah.
You still need to get your water in bottles, but it is recycled plastic, which is great. It tastes all of that. You can just taste them out.
Yeah, I mean they've partnered up with Starbucks as well, so obviously using the best, most corporately responsible companies and best for the planet, always paying their taxes. Oh yeah, the good old paper bags, yeah, because it's really important, of course. I'm really glad to see that they've done that because the 10p is a bit extortionate as well. You know, when considering you don't have to pay for jet fuel tax or anything, and thankfully they're going to halve the airport duty tax as well, because it was getting a bit pricey for the travel. So.
And we can be ethical. Look, this is the ethical choice. Come, buy some more clothes, but do so ethically, get on a plane.
And look, you can get pissed on vegan wine now as well. I mean, look, this is utopia, isn't it?
Here we go, we've got the milestone. Here's where we go. Here's where we go. So to start the journey to net zero, we've got to restart flying. That's the first stage on the route to cutting emissions, getting everyone flying again. Stage 2 is just a commitment. We're not doing anything yet, we're just sort of saying we're going to do it.
Well, wait, because it's sustainable aviation fuel, guys. So just it's not any aviation fuel. It's not, fuel that potentially is still very bad for the planet.
It doesn't have any. It doesn't mean it doesn't have any fossil fuel or it doesn't have any carbon emissions.
It could well be worse than original kerosene, but we've called it sustainable aviation fuel and stuff. So it's fully green now. Sorry, Cam.
Great. No. And then we're getting onto hydrogen by 2022. This is just a strategy. There's no hydrogen yet, it's just a strategy. But that's coming, which is obviously also green. Perfect.
Yeah. I mean, there is blue hydrogen and the green.
Yeah.
I mean, and the fact we don't have enough renewable energy for it or anything, we just kind of leave that over there, and we'll talk about it later. It's fine.
Yeah, we're going to completely ignore the fact that the hydrogen comes from fossil gas and that we don't have the power to make it, but it's viable. More hydrogen with electric, more sustainable aviation fuel. So by 2030, we've got enough sustainable aviation fuel for 4% of the UK's flights. All the domestic flights.
Come on, guys, come on.
4% of emissions.
4%.
How good's that?
Yeah. I mean, this is the best Greenwash Village I've ever been to.
Yeah, so that's 10 years down the line. We've got 20 years to go, and we've covered 4% of it.
And we probably could grow the industry by, we normally double it every 15 years, so, 8 years, okay, the emissions will probably still go up and that, but
John, that's 4% of the total, but the total's going to get bigger, isn't it?
This is true.
Right,
It's getting
yeah.
bigger.
Well, yeah, but 4% less.
So we've turned down the dial, but we've made the problem.
Yeah, it's all the creative accounting that we've got, you know.
4% doesn't have any cost to it, does it? There's no environmental cost to that 4%. All that sustainable fuel is just coming out of.
Yeah.
It's just.
It's a
Problem
ferries and
free.
stuff, yeah.
There's no issues with
And
that.
will it be flown or shipped to the aeroplanes before it's used in the aeroplane?
Well, there's no need to get
Quite
technical.
probably.
Oh,
Quite
that's
probably.
technical.
Land
Yeah.
use?
Yeah.
Does it take any land? Any talk?
Well, let's just keep it simple, guys. All right, we're at the Green Village.
We haven't got that detail
Yeah,
yet.
yeah. Okay.
We don't need that.
This is just Glasgow Airport. We don't need to talk about the whole plan or anything. It's not like everything's interconnected and stuff. So okay.
What you'll also see is later in 2030 though, the first actual zero emissions planes. We've covered domestic flights, but there's not actually a plane that's zero emissions yet, but it's coming.
Yeah, I mean the existing planes, we normally retire them after 25 years and stuff. So the fact it's still flying at 2055, that's perfectly fine. We don't need to worry about that.
Yeah, and then the rest of this timeline, you'll see that the 2/3 of the timeline is crammed into this little square at the bottom that you have to be a toddler to actually read.
Oh.
And there's actually very little detail, unfortunately. There's an airspace modernisation plan. There's an aim here. There's interesting language. So they're just aiming for a zero emissions aircraft. And then there's something here about government support. So it's actually government's got to do this. The airports aren't. The aviation industry isn't going to do anything, unfortunately.
No.
And suddenly we're jumping 15 years and we've done it.
Wow.
We've done it.
Yeah.
What
It's
do
all
they
a bit
mean by
hazy.
the word net here? I mean, when they get to zero, is there going to be lots that they haven't actually got to zero, that they're
Yeah.
relying on other sectors to deal with instead? Is basically the aviation industry just hanging on the support for the rest of the economy, overdoing its targets?
Well, look, don't forget the carbon offsets. We're heavily reliant on carbon offsets, and as we've seen with Microsoft recently, where they're offsetted forest burnt down, they're highly effective. We've guaranteed the offsets are, quite good for the
Reliable.
planet. So yeah.
They're solid. They're solid.
Yeah.
They're well accounted for.
Yeah, they are.
Yeah.
I love offsets because at one point I thought, I was going to maybe stop flying or stop driving as much, but then I saw that you could offset it, and so I decided to actually fly and drive more.
Right, exactly. And then you could pay like £2 now for your low-cost flight. The fact like a ton of carbon costs like $600 means nothing. So
Even better. We've got the next stage here, guys. Everyone. Right, look at this. We've got a roadmap. And the roadmap's brilliant. Because the roadmap shows that they can actually have 70% growth in passengers. How good is that? 70% growth in passengers.
wow. I mean, come on, guys. I mean,
Reducing carbon emissions.
Whoa!
that's exactly what we need now. Is more growth,
That's mathematical gymnastics.
Does that mean that instead of only 17% of the world being on a plane, that maybe like 25% could have done it, or is it not like that? It's just more flights for those minor few.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, the fact over 80% of the world's people have never flown,
So that must mean that everyone's going to get a chance to do it.
well, I mean, not really, but, of course, for us in the UK.
We'll just get to do it more.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah. And it's probably going to be a bit cheaper and stuff as well, so.
Yeah. But importantly, we're going to get to zero.
Ah,
Again.
Love
Right.
a graph.
Zero. We're going to get there. Because it's green. This is the green line. This is
yeah.
the green line.
So
Yeah.
is that 0 flights?
I don't think so, unfortunately. No.
and it's not zero emissions either, but,
Oh.
No, you're right. No,
No.
yeah, it's not zero emissions and it's not zero flights.
No.
But it is zero.
yeah,
Point
Zero.
yeah, the graph says
No.
zero, and it's green,
There's
so.
two zeros to
There's
make it, yeah.
aviation funding carbon removal.
Ah.
And that's just a zero.
Yeah.
Right.
It's the carbon
Talk
removal.
about
Yes.
Carbon removal. Yeah, we could talk about that. I mean,
But that's the solution.
yeah. Not developed yet. The technology is to be developed,
True.
but yeah, it's fine. It's all going to be fine. Yeah. Yeah.
So is the only way of funding that carbon removal by doing something that emits emission? Is that the only way?
We have to keep flying
To
to buy
fund
the
that.
tickets
That's
to
the only
fund
way of
the
funding
carbon
that carbon
removal.
Exactly. It's the
Yeah.
way to go. Otherwise,
Got it.
yeah, we'll not have the money.
So the more you fly, the better you make the world.
Apparently.
That's basically
Yeah.
it.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
basically it. You've nailed it.
Yeah.
I don't get this though.
But you
Because on
can't-
this
you
side
can't-
here, we've got a roadmap, we've got some technologies. Is there any? I can't see any policies there. I can't see any enforcement. I can't see anything that's actually
What
going
are
to
you
reduce
implying?
emissions.
Do you implying that you don't trust Glasgow Airport's Greenwash Village, or, you know?
Well, it's about the government rather than Glasgow Airport. So I'm worrying about the government here.
But they've got stuff from
What-
the UN
what?
here. It must be.
Our government's going to be net zero by 2050. I mean, what's not to trust?
Guys, look, we're going for a green future.
Okay.
It's going to be fine. We've got a green future. Good health and well-being.
Yeah.
What's not to like?
Woo.